The people arresting rapists are being hunted like criminals, and the ones protecting those rapists, they're sitting in office with smiles on their faces. Letitia James, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat elite. They're not just silent while ICE agents are getting attacked, they're fueling it. And while you're distracted, ICE is out there saving lives in cities that actively protect illegal predators. Team Think, brace yourself. This is the blueprint they never wanted leaked.
Voters make a distinction, a lot of them, and the polls show it, between undocumented immigrants without criminal records, people you're talking about, and those who have them, right? Especially in these extreme cases, like we look at in this case in New York City. But to that point, in this case, why should those voters think that this is something other than the system not working? I mean, if you're talking about waiting for comprehensive immigration reform, I've been in Washington for 20 years, and they've been trying for a long time. It doesn't happen, right? So why, in the case of cities taking a step and states taking a step, is this an example where there could be that coordination instead of waiting decades for Congress to act?
At the outset, I indicated to you that, in fact, New York State and other Democratic states cooperate with ICE when it comes to criminal convictions. But when it comes to innocent individuals, individuals who serve as your nanny, who clean your home, individuals who are our neighbors, individuals who unfortunately are just trying to make ends meet.
Both of these individuals had multiple arrests after deportation orders. Why are those not opportunities?
And that is why in the state of New York, when it comes to individuals, as you indicated, individuals with criminal convictions, then we cooperate with ICE. But it's important that we make a distinction between those individuals with criminal convictions and those individuals, again, who are just trying to make ends meet each and every day. And the vast majority of individuals who are being secreted and kidnapped at night are individuals who, again, are facing civil deportation and not criminal enforcement. It's important that we make a distinction. It's important that individuals understand that individuals are being caught up in these ICE raids, innocent individuals, students, teachers, small businesses. We all want the same thing, and that is to protect individuals from harm. But unfortunately, what we are seeing is mass ICE agents without any insignia, without any identification, kidnapping innocent individuals that both you and I know.
Kidnapping. She says we must make a distinction. Yes, we must. They're not just individuals. They're illegals. I'm just saying, border agents get shot by an illegal in New York City, and Letitia James is on TV calling ICE agent kidnappers. She won't even denounce. Look, man, you really can't make this up. Instead of defending law enforcement, she defends criminals. And this is the same state where illegals are allowed to vote in local elections. At least that's what I was seeing reported. I'm not there. I don't know. So don't take my word for that. And I actually just said the E word. I'm a little scared. But anywho, the system isn't broken. The system has been hijacked. But don't worry. While Democrats cry about ICE being too aggressive, let's see who they're actually arresting.
What's your name? You can throw him. And what? Yours? Okay. Put him in mine. Understand we're with immigration, okay? We have a warrant for your arrest, all right?
So, that man was walking free, convicted of rape, charged again for more. Then ICE had to go into a sanctuary city to remove him.
We're going to put you in a little bit more comfortable situation with the handcuffs, but I'll explain more during the ride, okay?
So, this is what Letitia James calls innocent individuals. And that's the pattern. Sanctuary cities protect monsters. ICE has to clean up the mess, but when they do, the left screams like it's an attack on human rights. No, it's not that. This is law enforcement doing its job. Our leaders refused to do. And when ICE does their job, the media flips the script like they do every time. Suddenly, of course, the criminals are the victims, right?
He called me and he said that he was at Home Depot and that there was guys with guns in the parking lot. And he's like, I think it's ICE. And I was like, are you sure? And then his line went dead. I live nearby, so I rushed over here. And then that's what I pull up to. I pull up to him running across the parking lot, people tackling him. And one guy got in my face with mace and was like, I'm gonna mace you back up. I was like, why are you gonna mace me? And then I go around to try and record what they're doing to him. And one guy gets right in front of me and trying to block me and starts pushing me. I said, don't touch me. I'm still recording. I'm like, leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's a U.S. citizen. He's a U.S. citizen. He called me and he said.
This is actually a follow-up clip. We only seen in our previous video related to ICE, we seen the angle in which this interaction was happening, where her husband, who she claims, who is a U.S. citizen, ended up getting arrested. But she cried for the cameras and left out one key detail. She slashed out the tires of her ICE vehicle during an operation. I mean, he did, I'm sorry. And that's a felony. But she's out here painting him to be some sort of hero. This is how the left manipulates the emotion. They bury the facts and sell the feelings, and that's how you end up with mobs defending criminals and ICE being treated like invaders. And speaking of mobs, the media had a full-blown meltdown over what ICE did next. Not a raid, not an arrest. A subpoena.
ICE is demanding that landlords turn over tenant information to assist in mass deportation efforts. Here's what we know. Several landlords in Atlanta recently confirmed to the Associated Press that they have received subpoenas from ICE requesting complete files on tenants, including rental applications, forwarding addresses, leases, IDs, and other information. Rental applications often contain information such as work history, marital status, and family relationships. The 2-page information enforcement subpoena obtained by the AP was signed by an officer for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Anti-Fraud Unit, but had not been signed by a judge. The lack of a judge's signature has raised a series of legal questions regarding the new demands from ICE, with some experts noting that landlords could risk violating the Fair Housing Act if they comply. Enacted in 1968, the Fair Housing Act is a civil rights law that prohibits housing discrimination based on national origin, race, and more. ICE has been known to make attempts at entering residences using subpoenas signed by agency supervisors. Though a Know Your Rights campaign backed by a number of advocacy groups has urged individuals not to allow immigration officials into their homes if the request has not been signed by a judge. The subpoena obtained by the AP was issued by the USCIS Fraud Detection and National Security Directorate, which is part of the Department of Homeland Security. Though the document has not been signed by a judge, it threatens that landlords may be held in contempt of court if they refuse to comply with the requests. According to the Immigrant Legal Resource Center, ICE can only require legal compliance with the subpoenas if they file a lawsuit in federal court and obtain a judge's signature for the enforcement order. Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said that ICE is authorized to obtain records or testimony through specific administrative subpoena authorities. She responded to critics who have expressed concern that the subpoenas are being used as an intimidation tactic that will cause landlords to comply with the order when it is not legally required, stating that it is false to say that subpoenas from ICE can simply be ignored. McLaughlin added that failure to comply with an ICE-issued administrative subpoena may result in serious legal penalties.
Okay, so according to this video, ICE sent subpoenas to landlords, not raids, not paperwork. I mean, landlords turn over all sort of information to law enforcement. They asked for info to locate wanted fugitives, and the press lost its mind. What this really means is ICE is getting too close. And that's what Hakeem Jeffries, that's when he decided to jump in, screaming ethics violations to distract from where it's really going down. ICE was getting results, or they are getting results rather. So Democrats sent their attack dog Now, let me show you his tantrum real quick, y'all. Oh, we got to start this from the top. Let's get it over with.
This far-right extremist group that I've never heard of filed this ethics complaint right here, alleging that I somehow abused my power by speaking the truth about Donald Trump's so-called U.S. attorney in New Jersey. Let me be clear about my opinions relative to Alina Habba. That's the U.S. attorney right now in New Jersey. She is woefully unqualified and is a political hack. Alina Habba, you are a complete and total disgrace. I don't give a damn about this so-called ethics complaint. It means nothing to me. It is frivolous. It was filed by pettifoggers who perhaps themselves should be disbarred. We will not be intimidated. Get lost. This far-right extremist group that
Hakeem Jeffries lashes out after getting hit with the ethics complaint, huh? For smearing a woman prosecuting a Democrat who assaulted DHS at an ICE facility. MacGyver. Yeah, but you heard it right. A sitting Democrat assaulted ICE agents, and he's throwing this tantrum to defend the attacker. MacGyver. I'm telling y'all, these leaders, these are not protectors. If anything, they're protectors of power. All right, that's what they're trying to protect. I keep trying to tell y'all when y'all read it between the lines. And when that power is threatened by facts, arrests, and results, they call it racism, fascism, and far-right extremism. It's all projection, and they know it. But guess what? They forgot who they're dealing with, because ICE just got back up, and they're not playing games. Here's an extension of what we reviewed earlier with Tom Homan.
Fired at federal agents during an immigration raid on a California farm.
To the brazen attack at an ICE facility in Texas. Huge increase of violence against ICE officers.
The Department of Homeland Security says physical assaults on ICE officers are up 830% compared to this time last year.
Officials at the detention center say they were lured outside by fireworks.
They're also seeing unprecedented incidents of violence against federal law enforcement officials, like this ambush in Texas, where 11 militants are now facing attempted murder charges.
People have been terrorized and terrified.
Add to that all the anti-ICE rhetoric in mainstream media, and even Democrats demonizing officers.
You posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terrorist force.
Authorities say this toxic combination is fueling the danger and risks on the job more than ever. In Seattle, far-left activists and immigration attorneys are consistently interfering with ICE agents.
Agents are here. Yep.
Trying to apprehend illegals after court hearings. Obviously, Antifa. And in Portland, Antifa members have targeted the ICE building for more than a month and say they plan to make life miserable for the feds until they leave the city. Our team at Frontline's Turning Point USA recently rode along with ICE officers for a targeted arrest in Washington. They wanted us to hide their identities due to the recent uptick in threats.
Yeah, man, sounds good. We'll do that.
We spent hours waiting and watching until finally they apprehended a Mexican national who admitted he was here illegally and was wanted for multiple infractions.
What's happening right now?
I'm here for 26 years.
26 years.
26 years. I work good, man. I help a bunch of white people, bro.
What can you tell us about this suspect, Miguel Gonzalez?
An immigration judge ordered him removed back in 2000. He has at least 2 arrests by local law enforcement. Looks like he has a conviction for crime against person, false imprisonment.
Okay. He just needs a lawyer. He wants a lawyer. That's all he wants.
At the end of the day, these agents say they're aware of the heightened risks and want to make it home alive to see their families. Yet they also say they're still doing this because it's service to their country, especially during this time of need.
A lot of us come from Washington State itself, where we're located now, so we're trying to keep these communities safe.
Trump border czar Tom Homan says he's also been doxxed and faced death threats from Antifa. When you started these targeted arrests earlier this year, you knew it was always going to be a risk, but did you think it was going to get this bad for your agents?
I said from day one, as soon as he won the presidency, The vilification of ICE and Border Patrol will start immediately.
And is aware of the social unrest in the Pacific Northwest.
Antifa and all the rest of those assholes are not going to bully me.
That's why he says he's coming to Portland and Seattle to stand with the men and women of ICE.
Look, they're American patriots.
And to send a strong message to the radical left and violent militants trying to hurt his agents.
I want the men and women of ICE to know that President Trump and myself have their back. And they think they're going to scare us away. They think they're going to bully us. They're losing. Because every time they do that, our response will be double down. Do it again, we'll triple down. So if you want to protest, understand the results of this. More resources will be sent there. We'll flood the zone. We'll flood the sanctuary city neighborhoods. We'll flood the work site. We're going to enforce the law with no apology.
Tom Homan is back like he never left, man. And he's talking in every sanctuary city that he thinks is, or that they think is above the law. Seattle, Portland, New York. He's bringing agents, resources, and federal force because the violence isn't just happening to ICE. It's happening because ICE is working. You don't get ambushed unless you're hitting the target, right? And, you know, it seems to me that's exactly what this war is about. Same thing. The message is clear. I mean, if you, let's say, arrest rapists, the left will call you a criminal. If you protect Americans, then you are somehow a fascist. Letitia James and Hakeem Jeffries, they aren't misinformed. They're invested in the chaos and the lies and the cover-up. So this is what we do. We're going to share this video. We're going to wake up your friends and never let these people rewrite the story again. Because when ICE is the enemy and rapists get protection, that's not policy, that's war. So y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.